Really, I'm very happy to get connected with you. And in this COVID situation, first of all, I appreciate all of your service in this critical situation and your medical fraternity totally supporting the patient care during this COVID situation. First of all, I should say that when there was a challenge to be faced by the private hospitals, earlier I had a similar meeting with you all personally because now it is COVID, we are unable to meet personally. The Private Doctor Association and most of the corporate hospitals and the clinics, they came to Rajbhavan and we had a very healthy interaction, I should say. Then your appeal on certain things was considered very favorably, and me being a same professional, I took your demands and appeals in a very positive way, both to the state and the central government. So in that friendly manner, because we are facing a very challenging situation and I understand the situation of the private hospitals and the need of the private hospitals care to the patients and to create a very effective and successful private-public partnership in this situation, we have to gain the confidence of the people. I think our 24-hour service really service-oriented in this situation. And we are facing so much of challenges. Our ICU cost, drug cost, and the special situation, the protective measures which the doctors as well as the patients to follow and to correlate our activity with the ICMR guidelines and correlating and cooperating with the state government's guidelines and to follow the insurance company's guidelines. So this is entirely a different situation. And as it is always believed, the private hospitals, all the medical facilities which are provided to the patients are a much better way and better care is given by the private hospitals. And really, even the middle class citizen believe us and come to us confidently to get the treatment. But some of the reports, I should say as a doctor, I can understand the challenges. But then some of the problems are faced by the patients. And when it is projected in the social media and media in a different way, then the usual service and the kind-hearted service done by the private hospitals in a larger scale and larger way get immersed in that type of projections. And another point I want to stress upon, as I said, the patients should gain confidence and whatever may be the reality may be projected to the patient. And we are also having challenges of getting staff, employing the staff and getting the work done by them. And when some of the seniors and some of the dedicated doctors are affected by themselves affected or the family members affected by this situation, then the hospital has to face the blow of inadequacy of staff and experts and disposal of the biological waste, biochemical waste, which is very precautiously and very cautiously should be dealt with. And the protocol of treatment, as this is a different situation and there is no any definite protocol, and finding the patient and diagnosing the patient, and when there is comorbid situation, the treatment cannot be the same with other patients, same protocol cannot be followed up. So many challenges the hospitals are facing, particularly the private hospitals are facing. So, I totally understand the situation of the private hospitals, but at the same time, my appeal is, because this is an extraordinary situation, we should serve the middle class people, and when they want to get the treatment in the private hospitals, they should be, our transparent activities should create hope and confidence among the patients. And whatever may be, whether our, without straining our ICU bills and ICU expenses, how we can provide them a better care at nominal charges. Whether we can create some nominal charges for special wards. I understand some of the hospitals are doing that, but to serve more people and to serve and to gain the confidence of the middle class citizens who are distressed in this situation. This is an extraordinary situation. Even though we understand the medical expenses and medical problems and challenges we face, it's an entirely different situation where we have to act in a different way. Even though we have some challenges, this is the time we have to act a little differently towards the patients. So you can convey your views very shortly to me. So it's not a unilateral interaction, it is a bilateral interaction, and whatever may be the difficulties and what are the challenges you face, you can also convey. So it should be a very healthy and fruitful discussion, so that finally the common man should be benefited by our wholehearted and kind-hearted interactions. And whatever may be the arrangements, special arrangements we can do during the COVID time. Particularly, most of the time, it is projected about our charges. So whenever the patient comes, we can have a special officer to explain everything beforehand and to consider their economic background and to consider some of the media projects that health cards are not accepted by some of the hospitals and the insurance schemes are not accepted. Even the insurance companies are acting in a different way. So whether we can have a cordial relationship with the insurance companies so that they can behave in a different way and they act in a different way in this COVID situation. Whatever may be, it's totally a friendly discussion and it's totally a cordial discussion. People, for you also can and myself also can. So, I want a very frank discussion so that finally we'll come up with a solution so that the people gain confidence on us, so that the problem of the private hospitals and a little strained relationship between the people and the private hospitals can be solved, so that the COVID situation in Telangana can be fought with full confidence and it's a combined efforts of all of us. So you can convey your views and Dr. Sushma Rani, Sangam Care Hospitals. Audience?
Namaste, ma'am. Thank you so much for inviting us on this platform to listen to this side of issues at this time of catastrophe we are facing. COVID, like other pandemics which we have faced, is a bit. It has led us to much disaster and the challenge that we are facing in healthcare. Whether it's public or private, it is now all out of control. and it has become challenge in view of beds. The private sector, however, we are following the COVID protocol by the ICMR guidelines. Still, the challenge is on the beds because the COVID management protocol requires a separate set of regulations in managing the bed management. It's not like other diseases where we could admit patients in any ward or anything, but the challenge is the requirements for a ward is different. Hence, I feel that the challenge lies in the occupancy of the beds and how how the treatment management protocol is happening. So we are following at care the ICMR guidelines, ma'am, and then we are trying to do our best. But at the end of the day, there are so many patients where we have to tell either you go to the government hospitals or to the bed, lack of beds. In the government hospitals also, the patient, there are a lot of unhappiness because there is deficiency of oxygen or medical. Was telling to have where else to go. But at the same time, we are also facing challenges on the ventilators, the number of ventilators and things. Apart from that, now the biggest challenge is the testing. The RT-PCR testing has become a very big challenge right from the beginning because of the kits or the private labs were not there before. But recently, the private labs have come, and then we can see the surge of positive cases. So when there is a surge of positive cases, there is a panic in the society also, in the population, because the cultural background that India is completely different. So we need to give them a social awareness, giving them home quarantine advisors. So we have come up with a home Suraksha program, and then we are trying to communicate to the patients, don't worry, it's going to be fine if you're asymptomatic, stay at home. That kind of initiatives will come down so that people don't, the minute they hear positive, they look for beds. So if you're asymptomatic, we can tell them, form a protocol saying that it's okay, some kind of counseling should happen. And the lab tests you should increase more, ma'am. On OP basis and IP basis, every time when the lab testing stops, what happens is the cases get stopped. The discharge time becomes clear because we are waiting. Whatever the protocols are there, the government should work with the labs and then see, whatever the quality control are there, they have to take the precautions. And it should not stop because the number is increasing, the number will increase. Because US, for example, globally, they have increased. So it is expected that there will be a hike. Because there is a hike, we cannot, stop the lab tests. So that is a big challenge is the lab tests now and the beds. That is what I would like to say, and definitely they are doing good. Not that we are also trying our best, and we are also following the GO as per the tariff. Irrespective, we understand in this time of public crisis that all of us have to put in hand together, and we understand the cost factor to the patient also. We are following the GO, but since drugs and exposables are excluded, what happens is the drug cost increases, and then still it is a burden to the patient. But still we are trying to negotiate with the company vendors, try to bring down. These are the main challenges, right? One is the beds, the tests, and the drugs and exposables.
Actually, beds are, you have any system to convey that so many beds are available, so many beds are occupied?
Yes, ma'am. We do have, at our level, we have an MIS, ma'am. And so we are providing. The officials also keep asking every day in the beds. But still, at a certain time, it keeps changing. There is no possibility of free because the emergency wards are overflowing with the patients. There are always a big queue waiting at the triage. And we are giving option that we end the triage itself because we can't wait for the bed vacancy. Because some kind of a support we have to be there. But how much can we fill in is a challenge.
So,
there is a time when ER is overflowing, it's like a continuous process, a cycle. There's a flow and it's coming out, this flow. By the time you say that, this bed is vacant, it's already filled.
okay.
Bed vacancy is a problem. And if the tests are done more, what happens is that we get a status saying that it's a positive or negative, and then the discharge process can become faster. And the decision making on the treatment level can become faster.
Actually, how long when how long it takes, madam, for you, because you are telling some delay in test, so there is no any uniformity in conveying the results, or is there any?
Yes, ma'am. There is, ma'am, results are taking from 24 hours to 48 hours, ma'am. Results are not coming immediately. Even before, with the government also, the results will take more than 24 hours, ma'am.
So,
that is,
apart from usual delay, usual time taken for the testing, is there any undue delay after that in conveying the reports?
Ma'am, conveying the report, usually the test that is done, it should take around 6 hours.
Yes.
As per the ICMR guidelines or the research process,
yes,
that how long will a test take? It's usually 6 hours.
Yes,
but by the time it reaches, it's more than 24 hours.
Oh. So, that's a delay. I also understand.
Yes, ma'am. So if
testing
is done,
when you said it is 24 to 48 hours, I was also surprised because the time taken for the test is only 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So there should be a system so that you get the results as early as possible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. If the results are there and the test processing is also accepted faster, there are only limited samples that are being accepted at every level now. Because we can't send too many samples at the same time before. Now, the hospitals have come, they are able to send samples, but then the processing also takes time. So if tests are done faster and results come out faster, it helps us the whole cycle moves. So the tag comes down, ma'am.
So you have any beds exclusively in your any economic package for that? Apart from the government, government's guidelines, do we hospital-wise, private hospitals, do we have any other arrangements?
Yes, ma'am. We have arranged. We have done arrangement. We have done packages for when somebody comes with symptomatic. We have done a HRCT package with RT-PCR test. So that the people get tested at the OPD level itself. Those two packages, because these are the two things that help us to evaluate patient. One is the HRCT test and the RT-PCR. If these two are done at a OPD level, then a package really helps people. The consultant also can make a quick decision.
Okay. Thank you very much, madam, for your
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
discussion. And can I have the view of Dr. Gopalakrishnan, Camp Hospital, High-Tech? High-Tech. Professor Gopalakrishnan? Please correct that. Camp Hospital, Banjara Hills, Dr. Prabir. Dr. Prabir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Regarding so whatever Dr. Sushma had told, it's actually true regarding the testing, but also testing private labs has its own problems on their side. We understand that. And regarding notification of the bed, government has already given us the portal where we are supposed to notify on a daily level that what are the occupied beds and what are the available beds. The major challenges regarding the charges, what we are facing is, it's not only about COVID positive patients. It's about, there are a lot of patients who have a multi-organ failure. So when they end up in the ventilator beds in ICU, the cost goes up. So ultimately, when the cost goes up, the people presume that it is for patients. You also have to understand that the patient who comes who is very critical has other comorbidities already. So either they are suffering from a cancer, and either they are suffering from another immunocompromised diseases for which they are in the ICU for a very long time. So the charges do scale up, but at the end it looks as if the charges are for the COVID positive patient. But it's not like that, because the patient already has other comorbidities. The charges in the ICU goes up. That is one of the challenges where the media unproportionately say that the charges for the COVID patient was very high. But they don't understand that the other underlying causes for which the patient was getting treatment, for which the cost has gone up. And also, Recently, there has been a change in the protocol of treatment, like we use for the patient, which only one cost or 1% of the treatment will cost 5,000. On this part, we cannot do anything about the treatment. We are giving good drugs like Clexin or Remdesivir. These are very costly drugs. So even if the hospital tries to cut down the cost of the bed, the cost of the consumables, the cost of the treatment and the costs are very, very high. So in that we convince people that the charges are not only of the bed charges, but it comes with a price for other consumables and drugs. So those are the challenges that we face. The other challenges that we face in the ER is now wherever we go, there is a constraint of ICU bed everywhere. It forces themselves into the ER, which has become impossible. There is a threat to the doctors. Also, people don't understand that even our people are getting infected doctors, nurses, and they go for a long quarantine. We are challenged with housekeeping, nurses, and doctors as well. At this point of time, it's very, very difficult for the hospital as well to deal with the patient of COVID. So I'm sure all the private hospitals, including the public sector hospitals, are facing and having the same challenges at this point of time to face with the mob and also to give video counseling. So as recently, all the positive cases, their families are at home because they are potentially positive, and we are giving video counseling to those patient families. But they don't understand, like they want to come to the hospital and exposed with the healthcare workers, and they fight every day. Those are things I'm sure it will go on because we cannot help it. So these are the major challenges we are facing day in and day out. Also, media again going every time. It's very difficult for us to handle all this stuff. I'm sure all the private hospitals are feeling the same.
Okay, I understand the problem because I also, in the initial use itself, I told because of the comorbid situation, the situation may be a little different. And even the doctors can be affected, and the medical, paramedical staff, and when they are affected, when their expert hands are lacking, hospitals also face the blow. But whatever may be in this situation, the challenges should be faced in a very confident way, both by the patient as well as the hospital. And some of the some arrangements like admission counselors and provide, even though you said the estimation which we report during the admission actually exceeds when the situations are worsened. Even that should be very transparently actually we have to convey to the patients so that these all dealt in a very, very positive way. As you said, one or two problems when it is projected in a different way, the people lose confidence. And another thing I want to ask, when your beds are full, do you have any arrangements for other hospitals so that, because most of the patients feel that they are moving to 2 to 3 hospitals or 4 hospitals before getting admission. So pillar to post we have to run here and there so that to get admitted in a hospital. So before when you get the admission, the patients become very bad and sick. So when there is no beds, you have any arrangements with some other hospitals so that patients are actually not bothered about going to different hospitals. Do you have any arrangements like that?
Sorry, ma'am, in care hospitals, we have consolidated all the beds. We have a group where we try to accommodate patients. If Care Bandara is full, then we talk to Nambai. So we already have a group of sending patients and accommodating to other group of hospitals. At the same time, recently, I think everybody has consolidated their beds and they have given their spokesperson's number. And we usually message, if we get a phone call from any patient regarding beds, we also give them those numbers where the entire hospital has their spoke with their phone number so that it is easy for them to call the hospital and ask them whether the bed availability is there or not. So we have been, all the private hospitals have come together and provided their scopes, and we also talk to them regarding the bed availability. But the problem right now is because of the surge, the ICU beds is a major constraint in the entire city. So that has become a major challenge for us at this point of time.
Thank you sir, very much for your views. And I can have the views of Dr. Praveen, Care Hospital, Banjara. No, she only heard. No. Dr. Gopal Krishnan, Care Hospital, Skytech City. Then Dr. Bharat Reddy, COO, Kids Hospital. Dr. Bharat Reddy. Dr. Bharat Reddy?
Yeah.
Dr. Bharat Reddy? Kims?
Yes, madam.
Yes.
Yeah. Fine, ma'am. So over time, but the scale of capacities, and we are trying to cater to as many patients as we can. And so 3 points that I would like to mention. One is because of the delay in testing, though we have our turnaround times for suspect IV patients, we have brought it down to around 6 hours. But for OP patients, it's still 24 hours because of the load and the manpower dealing with the molecular biology in the labs are very limited in the city. And we are trying to upskill other laboratory technicians for this. As of now, the RT-PCR test they take around for OP patients around 24 hours. Available. So, which as of now, none of the CT schools have been rapid antigen test. Now, that is first point. Second is, we 20% of our ward beds of every hospital, if you have a look, 20% of ward beds are occupied by patients who do not have any other isolation facility. They do not require oxygen, but 10 to 20% are occupied by them. And the patients who need oxygen, we are not able to cater to those. So the government has to have a facility where these patients can, those who are positive, they cannot isolate themselves in the specific home, and they do not require any intensive monitoring, so they can be catered in a place. And the third is with respect to the costing. Yeah, this has been an issue which people have been facing. Yeah, with this, because of the manpower issue, the nursing issues, we are incentivizing the manpower and motivating them to come and join. But the costing is all as per actuals, and as Praveen was saying that, when the patients are sick, you need to give them multimodal approach, you need to give them every life support therapy, and that increases the bill. Overall, we are trying to deal with as many numbers of patients. We have scaled up capacity hugely. It is highest nearly among us in the city right now, but there are challenges which we have to jointly come up with.
Okay. Thank you very much for your views, sir. Because when I interacted with you only, that I could understand the problems in getting the test, and then the delay in getting the test, and as you rightly said, the patients who need oxygen and intensive care should get the preference. But when they are not getting their isolation arrangements in their house, these beds are occupied by the people who don't need any intensive care. or oxygen. That also we have to look into in a proper way so that some arrangements can be done so that the patients who really need the treatment get the accommodation at the earliest. Thank you very much for your views. Dr. Koteshwar Rao. Dr. Prabhakar Rao. Basavataragam Indo-American Cancer Institute, Dr. Prabhakar Rao.
So, madam, we are in a severe pandemic situation, and day by day it is increasing. Number of positive cases they are going up, and the healthcare system has to come forward. The entire both private and the government. They should come forward and put together. They should provide the best facilities to the. And I think Indian industry, Indian healthcare industry is one of the best healthcare industry in the present situation. But still we are not able to handle this because the proper planning has not happened actually. And then the government should take the help of the private healthcare industry. As you know, Hyderabad is the hub of the healthcare industry, and most of the corporate hospitals, they have started from here, they are all over India. And we have got the best infrastructure and some technical people, doctors who are well trained. And we should utilize these services to handle the present situation. That is one thing. Second thing is some of what we are seeing, that availability of the drugs, like Tocilizumab and then Remdesivir, the two shots, the non-availability whenever we require it is not available. And with all these things, I think plan it properly and do it in a nice way. So we can still situation in Hyderabad and Telangana.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your views, sir. But particularly, being a cancer hospital, you will deal the patients with comorbid situation more.
Yes, madam. Now, what we are doing is that we are taking up cases of those who are having cancer and then they have the COVID positive. And our own employees we are taking care. We are admitting our own employees in our hospital and treating them.
So some of the actually, so what all I convey here as a question or doubt or not only mine, I get from some social media and my private mails, so that they should have some clarity. Some of the people convey that private hospitals not actually responding to the health cards, which they respond previously. Particularly, they turn away the health cards with insurance cards. Is there any problem or?
As far as our hospital is concerned, I don't think so. And another thing is what is the lab test. What it was a little bit. I think the private house more and more diagnostic centers should be given permission wherever the facilities are available, so that the number of tests can be increased, so that the patients will be diagnosed early and quarantined, so that the spread will be lesser.
Thank you very much for your views, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Raghunath, Dr. Raghunath Koteshwar Rao, only now. Dr. Raghunath Reddy, pulmonologist, Sunshine Hospital.
Yes, madam. Good morning, madam. Already the problems have been spoken by many of my colleagues in Hyderabad about the availability of beds, the availability of the staff. Obviously, we are also losing the staff, as you have already addressed, because of they are turning COVID positive. They have to quarantine for 2 weeks, and we are losing them, and then maintaining beds in hospital beds doesn't mean only beds, it also means manpower.
Yes, yes.
So, huge gap between the case load what we are getting and the beds available in the hospital. What I can foresee in the future, this peak is going to increase. and we are not able to handle right now, even at this present scenario, the children are in the triage area to get into the hospital, and we can see them only once the patients get discharged. And this scenario will continue for another 1 or 2 months, and sometimes even more. So the peak is going on, the peak will increase in future. So I am scared to think of the scenario where the number of patients increase more, and obviously our bed strength will be the same. We cannot actively increase our bed strength. The second problem, as Dr. Koteshwara already has addressed, the availability of drugs. Right now, we are following ICMR guidelines, but because we are seeing that HCQS is jumped in other international studies, many of the patients are not opting for HCQS. They want the newer drugs which were actually projected as lifesavers, the media, like favipiravir and remdesivir. And there are good studies, if not convincing, but encouraging, that these drugs are little useful in the early stages of the infection. So people are asking for those drugs, the favipiravir, remdesivir, and the doctor already has said the tocilizumab, which is given in severe cases where there is a cytokine storm. We are running short of those drugs. There are not enough drugs available in the market, and the drugs are coming in batches, and once they get it, we have it for 2-3 days and then again disappear from the market. And the tocilizumab, when we are inquiring, it's not available anywhere, and even if it is available, 1 or 2, therefore double the rate. So availability of the newer drugs, the new antivirals and those. And the third thing is the government has to think. I mean, as a doctor, I don't know whether I should say this or not, but the government has to take steps to flatten the curve. This peak, if it is going to peak even more than what is right now existing, I don't think any healthcare system in Hyderabad will be able to take it. And the entire patients will be on roads, and there will be a literal chaos going on in the Hyderabad city, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much for your cautious views, sir. Really, we have to think in that way.
Yes.
When we think the worst and get the best, we should not think the best and get the worst. So really, I also appreciate your views, so that we all cautiously, because this is a high time, we have to think in a different way so that the patients and people are not affected. Proactively, you all have a plan, so that even when worst condition, because I want, as a not only a doctor, a governor of this state, having stalwarts like all of you, experts like all of you, and as it is said, it's a pharma and medical hub. The challenge should be faced very effectively and efficiently by this state. Actually, this state should be the forerunner in planning and execution of a better care than any other state. That's what one of the aim of communicating you all, even though we know the challenges, so that our healthy interaction will come out with a plan, so that we combat the situation in a more effective way, so that what all the setbacks which we have can be removed in a very positive way, and a good thing and the great things which should be done by the government can be appealed and can be highlighted, so that definitely we prevent the state from facing a very worse situation, as you said. Thank you very much for your views.
Thank you.
Dr. Srinivas, Vinci Hospital, or Dr. Ravindra Reddy, pulmonologist, Community Hospital.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir.
From Vinci Hospital. Thank you for taking this initiative. So on to this platform for this valid point. I have already learned and senior colleagues. A few points I would like to emphasize, madam. This is a pandemic and everybody approaches a hospital out of panic. But we all know and we all have agreed that more than 80% of these patients are mildly symptomatic or less symptomatic and they can be managed at home. The reason why these patients approach the hospitals and the hospitals are therefore forced to admit them is the fact that they are worried that they may not get the right attention at home. So the awareness campaign, whether it is from the government side or from the private side or a private-public partnership, should release awareness that the following symptoms are the ones which need to approach a hospital. Irrespective of how much we scale our healthcare system, even the more established healthcare system, the Italian system and the American system are breaking under the weight of this pandemic. So we cannot expect that we will just do magic overnight. So the trick for this, as Raghunath Reddy has already said, it may increase in the next 2 months. So when it increases, the entire administrative as well as the healthcare system should be able to communicate to the public that if you have the following symptoms, you are safer at home, it can be taken care of. Now the answer of this, the question that comes to the mind is how will monitor me when I am at home? That is the question that is foremost in the minds of the public whom we are going to advise to stay at home. Now as has already been discussed, we are the Indian hub of the country. We are home of the biggest corporate hospitals and government institutions in the country, but we are also the IT hub of the country. So a combination of the IT industry, the IT which we have, the IT prowess we have, the technological know-how we have, and the medical infrastructure, the medical knowledge we have, and the experts we have in the city can come together and give a kind of a consult-based this spearheaded by the government, participated by the private sector with its expertise. Each of the people that at a phone call, at a call center, you will have an expert who will address your concerns, who will guide you through your treatment care of you at home. So if you can do that, the entire team of people for approaching the private or the government hospitals for beds will be a little regulated so that the real deserving patients who need oxygen, who need organ support, who need monitored care, need high-end as the remdesivir, tocilizumab or absorbent therapy will be taken care of in a hospital. So a hospital may have a number of ICU and a what number of rooms, but beds now are being utilized by patients who need oxygen, who are being taken care of, which were taking care of stable patients. Now the rooms are taking care of. So to optimally available beds, I think a pre-concept-based partnership between the government and the private sector is good to assure the public that even if you at home get the clock and will be taken because 80% of them actually are mildly symptomatic and are only the hospital the panic which the disease has created all over the world. These are some of the things I thought to keep in mind in addition to what my seniors and my other learned colleagues have pointed out. Thank you.
Very valid point, sir, but one or two clarifications. You very rightly said so that the home quarantine patients should gain confidence because they think that they are not safe, so they are all approaching to the hospital. So some of the states have come out with pulse oximeter so that they can monitor and some with. I also thought that war room so that the home quarantine patients can be connected and they what are the clarifications they get. So it gains confidence among themselves so that they are going in the right track. Because when they are in the house, they are afraid that whether they are ignored of their proper treatment. So when such things provided to them as pulmonologists also, I want to know, can we come up with some packages so that they can be monitored?
I think there are already some packages which some of the hospitals have developed in private hospitals where a pulse oximeter and a digital thermometer is given to the patient. The patient is given access to an app of the hospital and he will keep sending the pictures or the numbers of the pulse oximeter and his temperature and we are diabetic capital of the world. So their concern is when you use steroids for treating this disease, their blood sugars also need to be controlled. So all this are being taken care of. of, but the scale with which we are doing probably is not enough to reassure the public that this is the way to go for taking care of the less sicker patients. So that is what is forcing them, and as Raghu and some others also have said, they feel that they are unsafe at home. Now that has to be very clearly told to them that look, this is the situation where you are better off at home. So whether it is the print media, whether it is the digital media, the government infrastructure, the healthcare infrastructure, the municipal corporation, whoever is in touch with the public, whoever is daily interacting with the people who are suffering from the disease, should be reiterating that 8 times out of 10, you will just have a mild disease. Simple medications are enough to take care, and the public and private healthcare systems have tied up together to sort out your problems, address your problems, so that you are not exposed to a hospital. So this is something I think as a proactive measure, a dynamic leader like you should be able to execute, and with all support from all.
Thank you so much, because really a very valid point. And when I actually sorted out some of the solutions, I have strongly mentioned this solution also, which I am going to convey to the government. Thank you for endorsing the views. Thank you so much. Dr. Chandrasekhar? Dr. Chandrasekhar from which hospital? Vice President.
Madam, I've already spoken on this behalf.
Oh, okay, sorry, sir. Dr. Aditya, Pratima Hospital Unit.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
I won't take much time, madam. Just have to tell 4 points. Now we are giving some purple prices only for the patients that are coming. And we have 6 beds, other better for the ICU beds now also. And slowly we are increasing them. But we have some problems that I want to ask you. We have some staff are affecting who are working in the hospital. And also some major problems are ventilators availability and availability of the drugs. Now in this crisis situation, we are unable to get ventilators also, madam. Even though we are trying our level best and providing the treatment for the patients. And we are facing the big challenges in delaying testing. We send some, we are not getting reports on time. It takes nearly 48 hours, 3 days, 4 days, which is delayed for the treatment by the consultants to treatment of patients. And oxygen beds to be available. We are also trying to increase. Now we are trying to improve our beds from 30 beds exclusively on board. So we are all following all the ICM guidelines. These are the things I want to discuss. Not take much time.
Thank you very much for your views, sir. Whatever may be, we will be very supportive to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam.
And Dr. Sukesh, Medical Director, Global Hospital. Dr. Sukesh.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Madam, we have this COVID pandemic situation. We are assessing the patient who are really required about the hospitalization or not. And as my seniors have already said, almost 70 to 80% of the people who are affected with the COVID that does not require hospitalization. And video consultation is being provided to the patient home quarantined every day. The major challenge which we are facing, madam, the patient availability of the beds actually. So many patients are coming to the hospital and not availability of the beds are really a big challenge. So I request government, can they have a common pool where all the availability of the beds will have the knowledge of the patient will be having some nodal officer of his own wise, where any patient can contact them and so place so and so hospital is having a beds can directly go there instead of roaming around all the hospitals for availability of the beds. And also, is through the new madam, through the government, that the viral drugs which are being given to the patients, the cost of it is really very high, madam. So, any subsidy can be given, I request from your side. And that's all, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. A very valid suggestion. Because the availability of the bed should be actually conveyed to the patients from a common pool, so that patients are not actually they are run pillar to pole, so that they should not get disturbed by this. Because most of the complaints of the patients that they are not aware of the availability of the beds, and they are going from one hospital to other, so that the distress is more. The distress is more intensified. Thank you very much for your views.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Isaac, Operation Head, Global Hospital. Dr. Isaac.
So, madam, it is from Red Global Hospital. Dr. Isaac also is with me.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Dr. Ravinder, Apollo Hospital. Dr. Ravinder.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
We appreciate the extra efforts that the government is taking in this extraordinary situations. Also, as a private hospital, all of us want to partner with the government to come out of this major issue. I have, I think, to make, madam. I think our previous speakers have also spoken about it. One is regarding the testing. Turnaround time of testing is 12 to 24 hours, which is making the patients to land up in the emergency or holding area, which is becoming a bottleneck. Is tested positive, then they can the main hospital. That's a serious concern, ma'am. Right now, there is an antigen testing which can be approved by the government, which is already approved by the ICMR. The turnaround time can be reduced to almost 1 to 2 hours. By this way, by this methodology, we should be able to speed up and improve our efficiency of bed making. So I request you, please, up antigen testing. The second thing is regarding very complex cases. When there are very complex cases, very serious ill patients, plasma is one of the options where we are seeking favorable results. Government can come up with a plasma bank. Plasma bank to help the patient whoever is a need kind of treatment. Then the last one is again very important. Pay the hospital to another hospital. No,
No, it's not audible. So final point.
Yeah, the last point is the patients are going from one hospital to another hospital and beds are not available. This is putting a lot of hardships to the hospitals and also to the patients. So if government can come up with a common pool with the availability for the particular day, and then there is some system of allocating of the beds to the patients, it would sort out a lot of issues for us.
Thank you very much for your valid points, sir. Because I also thought of my appeal to the government. I have also mentioned about the plasma bank. Because the plasma bank in this situation is helping the plasma treatment, is helping the patients. So proactively we have to come out with the plasma bank. Thank you very much for your views. Dr. Nagar Satish Kumar, Mallareddy Narayan Hospital.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam. Let me thank you on behalf of all the private hospitals for making us part of this consultation to tackle the excessive pandemic. Ma'am, all the many of the points have been covered by other colleagues. So I just wanted to add 2 points. One of the problems we are facing for home treatment. It is a stigma in the society now. Like many of the patients, they have come down personally saying that they are unable to stay at home because of social stigma, or like it's like they have been outcast, or it's like they have been treated as untouchables in their home. So that's the reason they have come up to hospitals to get treated in the hospitals. So though they can be safely treated at home. We have launched a home package, but still we are facing the challenge to make it available. Other one, second point, rapid antigen kit, which I was about to talk, but already it was spoken. The time for rapid antigen kit is 30 minutes to 1 hour, and if approved, it would be greater help to reduce the time of test. It can be done in-house in many hospitals. It's not have to be dependent on some other laboratories. It can be done in-house. Third point now, we are literally facing staff. Actually, we have around 22. We have the capacity to increase it to 100, but we have to increase because of video. Few staff are not coming up because of the stigma. Few staff, even the personally also where parents are not sending their staff and housekeeping their patients. And getting we are in-house. So this is limiting our bed capacity.
Thank you very much, sir. Anything to be told, sir?
No, ma'am.
Thank you very much for your views. Dr. Suresh Kumar, Vice President, Yashoda Hospitals. Dr. Suresh Kumar. Dr. Suresh Kumar?
Yes, the beds availability and the activities that is going on, madam.
Tell me, sir. Dr. Suresh Kumar?
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir. Tell me, sir.
Okay, madam, we have 3 benches and 3 nodal officers are available online. They will explain to you, madam, each branch how many they are treating and everything. We are treating around 500 patients in 3 branches, madam.
Okay.
I'm not bad, that's why we have doctors who will explain to you now, madam.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Karthik? Dr. Karthik?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, thanks, madam. Thanks for your time actually. The main problem only that already our colleagues already explained that the data for the testing play. And if you do the testing at earlier, we will discharge the patients. That was more we can accompany the more patients actually. And my second point is actually we are giving counseling to the home quarantine patients also. We are giving confidence to them also about the diet and pulmonologist and evaluation also. Every day they are communicating them. One person, each and every branch we allocated one person for the program and all. We are giving that handle. And one major thing actually, over the cases coming already disturbed that actually, that the patient not only COVID, they are coming with the other comorbidities also. And even positive cases also, we are given the video and all those things and we are doing already. One important thing is actually media. The people actually happening in the hospital is different. Outside what they are communicating is different actually. They should understand actually that our concern, main concern. Actually, almost all hospital people are facing this problem only. Better with the smooth that. Thank you.
Thank you. You have any media briefing?
Madam?
No, media you are telling. Because you told no, sir, because the media is not getting the correct information. Do you have any official media briefing of patients or something like that?
No, what my point is actually the media should have actually they should give good like the motivation to the people actually. What happening in the hospital is different. The people are giving information to the outside the public that is my point.
You feel like that? Okay. Medical Dr. Sridhar? Dr. Sridhar, Medical Administration, Yashoda, Somajiguda. Then Dr. Adit Singh?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Dr. Sridhar, you have more words to say?
Yeah, madam. Good morning, madam. I'm representing from Yashoda Hospital, Somajiguda. We are located more than 150 beds for the COVID patients, and we created a started treating in the December emergency. So all patients who are coming to the hospital, they are seen by the pulmonologist and emergency physician. Those who require genuine hospitalization based on their environmental marker, based on their clinical parameters, they are getting done. But those who are symptomatic patients, those who are all environmental markers and clinically they are asymptomatic, they are normal, we are sending home and we have created the kind of home quarantine, home isolation packages. Accordingly, we are avoiding them. And I can officer daily 150 to 200 trucks and getting for the bed management and bed availability. Most of the people they are fearing, they are fearing for the whole they are saying, oh, we will like that wait to come to so, my advice is we need to give patient quality normal this whichever parameters maybe it's to them which is two prices are not that is my sincere request. And these are promoting the shortage of the prostitution and drugs. So people have visa and paper ads they are saying these are the same and technology to reduce your injection, we take it to also the people they are coming in the fighting we need. And explaining that the activities of the obesity and those patients required without requirement and they are active, but still asymptomatic normal patients also want to very clear. That is, so public awareness program we need to adapt. And better our hospitals are 150 beds, we are full of beds and full of ventilator and still managing the patients and government also help us.
Thank you. Dr. Ranjit Singh. Then Dr. Anand, MD, Continental Hospital. Dr. Anand.
Hello, Medical Superintendent at Continental Hospital.
Okay.
So, we were one of the first hospitals who had started treating COVID patients, and we have ramped up our services based on the load. We have dedicated around 100 beds for COVID patients as of now. Most of the points were discussed by the speakers before. The issue which we face is, which we are facing are, even if we want to treat patients, because of the number of ventilators available, we are not able to treat them. So if the government could help us in providing ventilators, there are not many ventilators available in the market. If they could help us ramp up the manufacturing of ventilators, provide them with subsidized rates, that would be good. Remdesivir is again, there is a shortage of in the market. So treatment of patients is becoming a problem. And the usual issues which we face at the hospital is human resources issues, because there is a lot of attrition. Staff don't turn to work. So there's a major problem for us, especially housekeeping. And as two of the speakers just said before, if the government can have a portal, we can availability beds in government hospitals across the state or in the city, and if they can give a hotline number to even public that they can call up and inquire, it would be better. And we should learn from this disaster, and we should develop national policy, disaster management point of view. I don't think we have a policy on a national level or a state level of that. This would be really helpful going ahead, and we should have a mock drill of that, a mock drill at regular intervals, so that the public are also sensitized and they're ready for any contingency going ahead. And one of the issues which we face at the hospital is we have a lot of staff, we have dedicated staff for treating COVID patients. So if they could be provided insurance, so that would be very helpful, and the staff would also probably, they would feel more safeguarded and would want to volunteer and treat COVID patients. So that would help our corporate hospitals as well as government hospitals as well. And just a general observation, during the lockdown period, all these measures of social distancing were being implemented very strictly by the government authorities as well. But after the lockdown, even the public has gone lenient, and even the traffic police or the government authorities seem to be not very implementing it very strictly. So if that could be reinforced, it would be a good, it would help in flattening the curve. And one more point is for plasma therapy. We have actually applied for permission to get enrolled in the trial, but we have not got any permission or feedback. So probably if that could be done, it has shown good results. If the study is to be expanded, and of course after that, plasma bank can be thought of.
Dr. Anand, Dr. Anand, they have different separate issues?
He's the independent here, but I'm represented him.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for Anand. Thank you very much, so that I can get so much of real news of the challenges which the hospitals are facing. And this interaction really helped me to get some clarification, as well as I want to appeal. As I just said, this is a different situation. But finally, whether the government, whether the doctors, or whether the society is for the people. So whatever may be the difficulties, because now after discussing with you, I found out about the lagging the testing time, and the getting the results are delayed, and the number of beds availability can be conveyed to a general pool, so that patients can be actually get the information properly, so that prevent them from running from hospital to hospital. And about the drugs, availability of the drugs, and it can be given in some concessions, can be given on the viral drugs, and about the staff themselves, about insurance which can be rendered to them, and improving the infrastructure facility, and so many things. But finally, what I want to convey here, first, as you said, whatever the infrastructure, particularly when it is clearly said beds, there is no availability of beds. It's not only the beds, beds with staff, adequate staff, expert staff, trained staff. So when we face such challenges, it should be rectified. And coming up with a good insurance scheme for the staff, who are expert in this treatment, that also to some extent will solve the problem. And I appeal, because even though you have, some of the hospitals have the admission counselors, these admission counselors very patiently they should explain the situation and provide the estimate on admission. Sometimes it may exceed because of the comorbid situation and the complications the patients face during the situation and the treatment, but whatever may be, majority when we gain the confidence of the patients, the name that the private hospitals are not taking care of the patients, that can be a little eased away. And this insurance and the health cards, because most of the mails and most of the messages which I got, most of the hospitals, they used to receive us with a good gesture in the pre-COVID situation when we provide them with the health cards, but now they are informing this is we are not accepting during the COVID situation. So as private hospitals, as an association, whether you can come out with any solution for that. Then regularizing the private labs, and there is through the media, through the government sources, we got some of the tests done in the private labs are missing, and then there is some problem in the portals. So all this should be rectified. And we have come up with good solution, because 2 or 3 major problems the patients conveyed are unavailability of the beds. So they should be informed about the availability of the beds, and they should be there should be differentiation between the home quarantine and the need of the patient, whether it is mild, moderate or severe, and whether the patients with SARI and EE symptoms are treated or they should be taken care of. And another thing I wanted to convey about the non-COVID situation. The patients, hospital should not be crowded much by the minor symptoms or the minor ailments, some patients suffering from minor ailments, so that the care of the severe COVID patients should not be hampered. But at the same time, when the hospitals should create confidence among the non-COVID patients with mild ailments, so that how they are dealt, and their presence should not hinder the care of the COVID patients. At the same time, threatened patients, how they are taken care of, and then these things should be taken care of. And then I appeal, some of the hospitals, corporate hospitals are attached with medical college hospitals, so the availability of the bed. So when they have, and some of the hospitals have, you have branches at different places, so that exclusively some moderate beds with moderate charges, with the moderate packages, so that patients confidently approaches. So when some corporate hospitals or when some hospitals are attached with medical colleges, exclusively that space and infrastructure can be used to create more number of beds. As it is said, more numbers of beds are needed, as the pulmonologists who actually conveyed their concerns, so that there may be more number of cases. We may face a very critical situation. So when they can offer some space with good bed arrangements, and whatever may be my concern is the patients approaching the private hospitals. As it is said, there should be a good relationship between the public, private and the government. Even though the government is coming out with so much of schemes, and government is tackling the situation, we have to, some rearrangement should be there, because it's not that it is not dealt with. As it is said, the curve should be flattened, as most of the doctors conveyed their concern, the curve should be flattened, and even the lockdown and releasing of the lockdown should not add severity to the situation, and infrastructure and the drugs available. Even though we are the pharma hub, we have difficulty in getting the drugs, and there should be some concessions for the drugs. These all taken, actually these points are noted, sir, but whatever may be, we form according to me, we form a committee, COVID, all the, even though you have a private hospital association, you all come together, so that some concrete steps, so that the middle class people approaching a private hospital, enter the hospital, get treated confidently, so that the name, so that we are denied of beds, we are overcharged, and it is not taken care of, our family members are not taken care of, and we are not admitted even though we have symptoms. There are so many things which are projected outside. It should be dealt with much concern in a humanitarian ground. And really, I appreciate all your participation, and your valid points are well taken. And this order to be conveyed to the state and the central government will be conveyed. And what are the changes and the arrangements and the changing strategies which will help our efficacy and our service more to the people will be enhanced, enforced, and really whatever maybe as I said, first admission, counseling and estimation on admission, that should be clearly focused. And as it is said, plasma bank and then permission for plasma therapy, that also will be conveyed, and then antibody testing. This also, because even though the ICMR has given the permission, it has not arrived here, so that also will be conveyed to the government. So whatever maybe it is, and the insurance, the patients, some of the patients say that even though we have health cards, they are not taken care of. So I appeal the private hospitals so that to take care of that. Whatever may be, we are all for the people, and particularly in this extraordinary situation, we have to make some arrangements, even though we cannot, without cutting the cost of the ICU setup, some arrangements can be done so that patients confidently approach the private hospitals, even though there is government hospital arrangements. Some people feel that they want to get admitted in the government hospitals so that the service of the private hospitals are more lauded by the people. After all, we are all for the people. So I appeal you form a committee so that come out with a concrete plan so that people are benefited by the private hospitals, and whatever may be the request and appeal given to me, definitely I will deal in a very positive way and convey to the proper forum so that the people are benefited much. Even though it's with a quite short time, because yesterday evening only I planned this meeting, so it's a short time, you all able to get connected, and I appreciate the valued time you spared, and really it is a very valuable discussion, and whatever may be after this discussion, some of the problems can be solved, because unless we know the diagnosis, it cannot be treated, but I will have come out with a very good diagnosis, so it can be treated, and I all appreciate, and I feel there should not be, as some of the doctors here highlighted, there should not be a panic situation, there should not be a situation where the state should struggle to treat the patients in future, even though we get more number of cases. Let us hope for the best, but anyhow, we have to actually view the worst also, so that we have to move into a better position. So there should not be a situation that the patients of Telangana should suffer of not getting beds and not getting the proper treatment. No patient should be spared of better treatment. So I really appreciate, but I want the private hospitals to come out with a concrete plan to gain the hope of the patients of people of Telangana, and whatever may be the help rendered from the government and from the Raj Bhavan will be there. And I should say that I have spoken to you not as a first citizen of Telangana, one among the common citizen of Telangana. I should say I spoke to you in that manner only, and really appreciate your participation. Thank you so much. Take care of Telangana people. Take care. Thank you so much.